Path to redemption. Is there a defined path to redemption for a nation on the verge of internalized collapse? Masking of intention and wide-scale cover-ups serve to degrade the freedoms of every single American. A unchecked power base revokes liberties, restricts movement, and cancels anyone who doesn't comply. This behavior from our government is intolerable. They are destroying our nation. They habitually lie about everything. They are selling the nation piece by piece to the highest bidder. I question every one of them, Republican and Democrat alike. Their intentions are not of benefit to the American people. The damage our government is doing to the country may be unrecoverable. Internal conflict, riots, lack of process. Our judicial has lost all semblance of integrity. Can we ever recover? I honestly don't know. We have diverged so far from our constitutional heritage, it would take a complete rehaul of the systems of government to reset the nation. What we have in high office now will not do that, as we have experienced in a few short days. The policies of the puppet administration only seek to further divide the population and place considerable turmoil on the lives of working Americans. Degradation of civil and moral virtue has been pushed by the false establishment narrative designed to incite negative emotional response into susceptible power population basins and destabilize our society. Our path must be one of rising above the narrative and revocation to the policies of the establishment. Our government can only rule over the population with consent. These corrupt members of the establishment must be labeled as persona non grata and treated as such in every instrument of their lives. There can be no safe harbor. Their imperialistic policies continually serve to degrade the American way of life. The establishment serves itself to consolidate wealth and power at the detriment of the citizens. Overtaxation and regulation adds stress to an aggravated population who doesn't have a direct outlet to voice their concerns or grievances to the power basin. So we have reached a point of contention in our nation. The people demanding freedom and the government seeking to limit and restrict the liberty. This is a revolving cycle in the life cycle of America. At the point of contention where the accumulation of wealth and power away from the people reaches a certain threshold, the people begin to revolt against the system, feeling used and abused by the people that were elected to defend them. So we have once again reached a point within our nation where all aspects of the establishment, corporate, governance, financial, media, have imposed their will on the population. We must break the ties that bind us to our enslavement. We must revoke our association with the media propaganda machine, the social media that suppresses our voices. We must condemn and be extremely vocal with the elected officials to hold them accountable for their actions. Never forget, we are the majority. Our voice combined far exceeds the criminal element in the halls of government that seek to keep us quiet and controlled. A call to action for patriots of the Republic to express your sentiment. Contact your elected officials and demand accountability. Never forget, this is our country. The consent to govern comes from the governed. Hold them accountable. Engage at every level in the public square. We must engage. Politics and point of view are fine when these point of views serve only a self-righteous group in Washington and place considerable strain on the American people. We must rise up in opposition and demand unified change. We have within us the power to change the course of U.S. history if we have the courage of conviction and the will to demand change.